The Empty Room by Wanderer D. Chapter 3 Forgotten Love. Lyra had taken great joy in explaining how time had changed in Canterlot, and had pointed out several little details as they went from one place to another, highlighting how previous generations differed from each other. By mid-afternoon, when Lyra had left for home and promised to see them the next day, the 5 ponies had a good idea of the layout of the castle grounds and surrounding area. All in all, they spent a very nice morning with their unexpected tour guide, and all of them were looking forward to seeing her again. "Well, I don't know about you girls, but I'm starving," Applejack wheezed, sitting down on a bench in the castle gardens. Evergreen nodded at the other 3, and they spread around the area, keeping an eye on the group. Abbott then had a quick word with a mayor overseeing the gardens, and soon the group was attended by castle servants.
"I am quite hungry, yes,"
Verity agreed, smiling gratefully at the ponies who brought a small table and topped it with a repast consisting of fruits, vegetables, and drinks for all 5 mares.
"It was very nice of Lyra to show us around the palace."
A small smile played on Fireshide's lips as she turned to her friends.
"I very much liked looking at all the wild animals they have on the living grounds."
She sat next to Rarity, glancing hungrily at the table. Yeah. Dash rolled her eyes. It was cool and all, but I didn't get to see any of the Wonderbolts. She looked at the others with mild annoyance. This is Canterlot. We should have seen at least one of them.
"I'm sure you could just house to meet with them again, Rainbow Dash,"
Rarity called.
"Well, now, you should eat something, dear. We still have the rest of the day to visit all the interesting places around here."
Rainbow Dash's stomach rumbled as she sat down, looking sheepish. It didn't take long for her to start wolfing down food. Still, she managed to say between bites, I bet there's more to do here than just looking at history.
"Yeah," Vicky giggled. "I think it's done the bestest party ever for Princess Celestia in this garden."
The idea seemed to perk everybody up, guards included.
"But it has to be big,"
Pinkie Pie continued, prancing around.
"I can get cookies and streamers and danglers and cakes and drinks and hot sauce and—"
She only stopped when she turned and found herself muzzle to muzzle with Fireside.
"But you would have to make sure the party didn't disturb the animals,"
Fireside said.
They weren't too friendly last time I was here, and we still shouldn't bother them too much."
Yeah, parties are good, but I want to do something now. Rainbow Dash shot in the air, looking around and thinking until something seemed to click. Hey, you know what? This place is old, Rainbow Dash said. You don't say, Applejack deadpan. Dash gave her a look. And it's been around here since even before Nightmare Moon appeared. That's like thousands of years, she grinned. I bet there's ghosts here. Applejack shifted a little, looking nervous.
"Oh, Dash, don't be silly,"
Verity laughed, fluffing her mane with love.
"There's no such thing as ghosts. Next thing you'll say is all humans are here."
Hey! Daniel Dash cleared air. I never said I believed in humans. I stopped believing in fairy tales like that when I was a little filly.
"But you still believe in ghosts, dear."
Hey, now, I don't know about humans, but ghosts are as real as this table right here. Applejack broke in, tapping her hoof on the table and producing audible knocks.
"No, they're not,"
Verity insisted.
"But humans are,"
Binky said, early giggle.
"I met one just before we came here today."
Her friend slowly turned to look at her, while the guard was frantically trying not to stare.
"He was very strange. No hose, and he don't have wings,"
Pinkie Pie continued, looking slightly confused.
"How is that he would have wings?"
Lyle, Pinkie Pie, Applejack festered after a moment. Don't go making up stories, okay?
"But it happened!"
Pinkie Pie declared, bouncing around the table with a grin on her face as she talked.
"When I said hi, he stared at me, then something about 7 Circe was low that he was not going to hit, and then...
Rainbow Dash asked, leaning in, interested in the story despite herself.
"You booted twice!"
Applejack and Rarity smacked their hose against their faces and groaned. There was a crash behind them, and the helm rolled past Fireside. Rarity smiled. Really? That's awesome! If I implode, I want to do it twice! No, thrice! The Pegasus declared. There's no way it loses to a human.
Um,
Fireside drew their attention.
what is self-insertion?
One of the lowest of the lows. Well, I don't rightly know, but it sounds pretty painful, Applejack said, raising an eyebrow.
What are you talking about this?
Randy asked, giving the others a worried look.
This conversation is turning ridiculous. Oh, because of ghosts!
Des jumped up and turned to one of the guards.
Hey, you!
She pointed her hoof in Evan Rain's direction.
Are there any ghosts in the castle?
As the guard who had face hoof took his helmet, sheepishly went to pick it up. The other guards exchanged glances. Evan Rain forced an uneasy smile. There used to be one in the Library Tower, but it disappeared about a year ago.
It's gone? Oh,
Rainbow Dash sighed, looking up hopefully.
So, what did the ghost do? Was it scary?
Well, Evan Rain shuffled in place when everybody's attention focused on him. It was unusually late at night, when everything was calm, and even after late twilight had gone to sleep. When we do our rounds, we would hear a voice, but whenever we investigated, there was nobody there.
I still remember hearing the voice that was the capable general, still commanding his troops from beyond the grave, Anarcha said. It freaked us out. In fact, it really was something happening. That sounds sort of suspicious,
Rainbow Dash said.
Wonder what happened to it. One does not simply walk into Mordor!
Spike bellowed as he rolled out Twilight's bag. Then wheezed when he hit the floor belly first. Standing up grunkily, he shook his head, rubbed the sleep out of his eyes.
Huh? What? Where am I?
He looked around Twilight's ruined castle, blinking in confusion until he spotted the calendar. It was the same day when he and Twilight had gone looking for books about the elements so long ago.
Oh, sweet Celestia. I'm in Twilight's room back in Camelot!
He gasped. This can mean only one thing. He felt his eyes wide.
I must have read the whole thing. We never went to Ponyville!
Spike stared at the wall, letting his brain sort things out.
But then, I never met Rainbow Dash, or Pinkie Pie, or Fluttershy, or even Applejack!
But most importantly, I never met Rarity! His claws clenched his fists as he got up to his feet, singing them futilely in the skies beyond the ceiling. No! They were all figments of my imagination. After a few moments of staring at the green ceiling, he sighed.
Although, I must say that my imagination gave Rarity very, very nice flicks.
He smiled as the vivid image in his mind conjured up, as I realized again where he was.
Why does this always happen to me?
He groaned. My God. Spike is turning off into a worse butt monkey than in my facts.
Hey, give the author some credit. At least Spike is having some fun comedy bits. You usually either A, leave Spike alone and have him disappear off the face of the continent, or B, you get him kidnapped. A lot.
Yeah, that is true. Twilight Sparkle hummed to her, as her horn is sewn in different shades of red and purple.
Interesting.
Next to her, a hurrying quill and scroll quickly took notes as he examined the room inch by inch. She stopped when she reached the bookshelf. Her eyes studied the shelves full of fold books, lovingly chosen by her mentor for her daughter. I never had a chance to lay next to Celestia and listen to the kind Alicorn read stories contained within those pages. The covers blurred as he sniffed, unable to stop her eyes getting teary to the point she had to close them and take deep, shuddering breaths. She gave herself a few moments before sighing. When the princesses left, she felt anger and horror at what happened. She had stopped several times while moving about the room, when her hoof had hit a toy on the floor. Her mobile, made with the little effigies of ponies, stars, the sun and moon, had chimed at her passing. Now, all she felt was sorrow. She had tried to detach herself from it, a little at least, to be able to do her job. But there was so much forgotten love in this one room. Twilight looked at the crib with the two dolls in it, a mental image forming of Celestia's kind smile. She leaned in to wish her filly a good night, while levitating the Luna plushie. When she turned to notice the wind blocked in the corner, she could almost hear childish laughter, the gentle, warm chuckles of an amused Celestia. Twilight took a deep breath and concentrated. She was not going to fail her mentor, especially after the princess had gone back to her duties, leaving Twilight with the trust of something so important. She had to find out what had happened here. Luna lay in her bed thinking. She had tossed the sheets off of her, unable to even contemplate sleeping. I should be asleep, she thought, especially if I want nighttime to fall on time, but, she sighed, so many things have changed since I returned from exile, she mused. All the faces I knew are gone. Islands that had been there when she had controlled the night so many centuries ago were gone now. Like Celestia, there had been some temples built in her honor by the devoted subjects as a sign of love and appreciation, and Luna had wasted no time in trying to find him and grace with whoever would still worship her with a visit. Most of those temples were gone, except for a few that had mysteriously been kept clean, although she had been unnerved to find an effigy of Nightmare Moon, rather than the moon or stars that were transitously used to represent her. She had both felt dread and loss. No doubt ponies that had worshipped her benevolent side had been shunned away, and as time has passed, she had felt prayers to the night dwindle and fade, till a few individuals could mutter a word of prayer to the moon or night. Bearing beneath the nightmare, Luna had relished hearing those once-in-a-thousand-years chances to somehow bless those souls. She had eagerly sent them her blessings, even if it was through the nightmare. Before long, she had turned into a dark deity, patron of thieves, assassins, and darkness and kind ponies. Not all of them were inherently evil, and while sometimes using her powers for evil heart, it was still a sort of love for her soul. Kept her alive, even as she felt saddened by the use they were given. Still, none of that was as shocking and saddening what she found out today. She sighed once more. Today felt like it had been a whole week of stress. As much as her sadness accumulated, change hadn't seemed that important or even immediate until today. My sister, Princess Celestia, starting a family? Luna snorted. A week ago, she would have laughed at some point had brought it up as a possibility. There had been a limit to attachment after all. They were immortal. Whoever they married, whatever feelings or cults they produced would pass away eventually, while they remained. That didn't mean they had to be aloof or unkind, or even feel superior. Hard lessons he needed to face after breaking free of Nightmare Moon. But it meant that if they didn't draw a line, they would be miserable, and misery had brought so many things with it. But that didn't let that stop you, did you, sister? Luna turned on her side, looking at the doors of her chambers. Not only did you allow love into your life, you allowed yourself to have a filly, only to be denied even her memory. Luna felt bitter tears forming as she considered what would have been like being an aunt. If there had been more family, some pony to keep close and teach about the stars and moon and those places invisible to normal pony eyes, would she have transformed into a monster? Even as Nightmare Moon, she knew she would have been touched by the existence of more family. Some pony that will not trust me, maybe even love me unconditionally. She closed her eyes. Are we doomed to live alone, or to fade away like the others so long ago, before the written word was even existed? She thought for morosely. Who could have done this? Who would even dare? Luna finally pulled herself out of bed and tried to the window, where she could look at the ponies walking down the streets, completely oblivious to her thoughts and feelings. A filly. I had a filly. Celestia felt so much joy at the thought of that there was a young mare out there that was brought into this world through her, and yet she was taken from me. The sense of loss had been overwhelming. The years of happiness that she had been deprived from sharing with her daughter felt like stab wounds directly into her soul. When Twilight Sparkle walked in, she suddenly felt like she knew what it was like to care for a filly, as if she were her own daughter. When I find her, I will apologize for not being there for her. I will show her everything she missed, share with her all I know. I will spend every second I can with her, and no pony will ever be able to take her away from me again. But for now, she had to hold court. As the latest petitioner started speaking, Celestia's mind drifted back to her faithful student, wondering what she had discovered so far. Perhaps she would see her daughter soon. A slightly tuned-up magician's hat rolled down the street, pushed by a breeze until it bumped to a stop next to the wheels of a blue stage wagon. Tracy stopped next to it, panting. It had taken a considerable concentration to get that hat to her stage wagon, but the great and powerful Trixie was a magician of the highest order, after all,
Finally! Trixie would like to rest, but the sooner Trixie reaches Ponyville, the better.
With another burst of air, her hat fell into the driver's seat. As she made her way to the front to slip inside the harness, ducking her head, she slid forward. When she didn't feel the harness resting on her back, she leaned forward even more, till she had to quickly get her hose into position to fall falling face first into the road.
What the hey?
She growled. She looked back, ready to kick something when she realized that part of the harness was inside her body. She looked at it for a few seconds before she remembered.
Ah, I forgot. I'm a ghost.
She sighed.
Okay, Trixie, there's no need to panic.
After a moment,
Deep breaths. Deep breaths. What am I even breathing?
the great and powerful Trixie, which took her head free of annoying mortal thoughts, began to walk in circles around her stage wagon.
Okay, what does Trixie know about ghosts?
She thought for a moment.
Well, ghosts are ethereal. That means that we, cannot really touch normal objects. However, according to Master Sir Crowley, magical objects can be moved and touched by spirits. That's how fetishes are created. Oh, Trixie hates magical theory.
Her eyes narrowed.
But now is not the time.
She looked at her stage wagon, considering. The old stage wagon, which had been destroyed in Ponyville, had been intended to produce several magical effects on humanity. Instead of Z hadn't gone around to casting on this one. She needed specially expensive ingredients. She hadn't been too keen on getting them herself. Her father only sent her enough bits for finding a new station wagon, but that was it. Sir, she enchanted some items on herself, but they were all useless for now. Trixie briefly considered going inside and throwing out whatever enchanted items she had in a fit of rage, but the sound of hooves on cobblestone stopped her.
Now, dear, you see? This great and powerful Trixie is not in her stage wagon right now. I'm sure we'll hear about it when she starts her show, and I promise I will bring you over to watch.
It was two unicorns, a mare and her colt. Trixie grimaced and tried to ignore them, concentrating instead what to do.
But, Mom, why do we ask her? She's right there.
Again, little colt asked, "Why you hoof it, Trixie?" Trixie blinked.
Huh?
And now 6. Don't start this again. There's no pony there.
But, Mom... 6?
Trixie shook her head, wondering.
Who needs a Colt 6?
Now, dear, if you promise not to touch anything, you could stay here and look at the stage wagon. Just look. Don't touch. I'm sorry if the great and powerful Trixie were here. She wouldn't appreciate some mischievous colt touching her things, right? The colt looked at Trixie, now filling his eyes. The great and powerful Trixie was already on her knees, hooves caught together, and dying desperately for an agree.
I guess.
Good. I'll be back. 6's mother went into the store, leaving him with Trixie, who was giving him a thankful smile.
Thank you. Thank you. You see, Trixie really needs your help. Can you do something very, very simple for Trixie?
6 nodded slowly.
Are you really the great and powerful Trixie? Yes. Yes, I am.
Trixie said, striking a pose.
Trixie guesses you are a fan.
6 nodded slightly.
Well then, the great and powerful Trixie will give you an autograph if you do that small favor for her. Do you know how to perform basic spell runes?
The colt nodded for a third time. Trixie had to hold herself for shouting glee.
Well, Trixie needs you to scratch one of the magic runes on my station wagon. But my mom said not to touch it. Silly, that's Trixie's station wagon, right? Right. And Trixie is giving you permission to touch it, right? Alright. Then it's fine if Trixie lets you, right? I guess.
He approached the stage wagon.
Where do you want it? Anywhere will be fine,
Trixie said, pausing noticed the colt's cutie mark. An eye with a small summer 6 in the middle.
How odd. So, 6.
She started scratching the paint on her stage wagon with its glowing horn, drawing a basic magic rune for ease of movement.
What does your mom mean when she said you shouldn't start this again?
The colt didn't answer simple immediately, waiting until he was done drawing. The magic horn died. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Suddenly, the stage wagon seemed to glow for a series of seconds. Trixie nodded happily.
Well done, 6.
6 looked around, then motioned for Trixie to get closer. Curious, he leaned forward.
Well, I have a problem. And that's why my mom was saying about not doing it again. It hasn't made me very popular with police my age.
Tracy blinked.
Well, what is this problem?
Oh, you're gonna make me do it. You're gonna make me say a line. Well, I suppose my career as a voice actor on the internet was going to lead to this one day.
I see dead bodies.
They said, eyes wide, very wide.
And you don't know they're dead.
Tracy snorted.
Well, it's not like you feel much different, you know.
Six blinked.
You know? But aren't you going to stick around and see me through a story of self-discovery to find my purpose in life by helping those lost souls in desperate need to find peace and continue to the next room, only to leave me sad, bitter, and alone once you realize you two are dead?
Tracy laughed.
Oh, silly colt. The great and powerful Trixie has better things to do. Here.
Rowan signing. She slid one of several pictures of herself, signed in magical glitter from her stage wagon.
And there you go. Go find more dead ponies now, okay?
She tried to pat him on the head, but her hoof went through in a very disturbing way. So she chuckled nervously and jumped on top of her stage wagon.
Bye-bye now.
With a sudden lurch, the station wagon rolled forward, leaving a thoroughly confused Colt behind. In a dark room with 6 slightly glowing circles and one column of light in the middle, several ponies had gathered. Obscured by cloaks and shadows, they nickered and shuffled in place until one stepped into the light. Brothers and sisters, both the princesses are acting strange. They are weak. The ponies' voice echoed through the room, her tone one of smug figgery. There was a moment of animated whispering, but the pony in the middle stamped her hoof on the floor, drawing their attention.
I have seen signs that the guardian has awakened. The time to strike approaches swiftly. Be vigilant. We will find what makes them weak, and we will bring eternal night again to Equestria. The nightmare will live again.
The nightmare will live again.
Those who stand in our way shall fall.
The nightmare will live again. The light in the room allowed the gathered ponies to see a small smile on her muzzle. Chapter 4. As Twilight Fades. The little pony rocked in her chair, while the end of the day passed by. It had certainly been an odd day. The sun had not come up until mid-afternoon, but at least the twilight seemed to be on time. She chuckled to herself. It worried a lot of ponies when the lack of sunlight had gone on and on. But for her, well, it was nice to see something out of the ordinary for once in her old age. And this was certainly out of the ordinary. Some things never changed. As dawn gave birth to the day, so would twilight die to make way for the night. She heard a squeak, and it had come from a rocking chair. Slowly she stopped rocking, until everything was silent. Then she heard the squeak again. Looking around, she spotted a stage wagon on the road. It was empty, and no pony was hitched to it.
Strange, she thought. I never saw anybody pull that here.
She looked the other way and heard another squeak. Looking back, she stared hard at the stage wagon. Was it closer than before? Her eyes widened when the stage wagon turned upon her way, giving her the unpleasant feeling it was looking at her. It slowly started rolling towards her. She could feel her heart racing. The ponyless stage wagon finally ground to a stop just a few steps before her home. A small window inside the stage wagon opened, and a strange fine powder floated out before it ignited to blazing words that hung in the air. Which way to Ponyville? She felt pain above her left hoof. Then everything went blank.
Hi, Granny!
The old pony opened her eyes and groaned.
What? You okay? Put us out. I'm okay.
She asserted the stranger helped her up. Funny, her legs didn't seem to hurt so much now.
You said the strange nightmare about a station wagon that spoken words being fast to me. I thought I was going to have another heart attack.
You did, the mayor sneered.
Oh, fancy that.
The old pony looked at the old young unicorn helping her up. She had a soft blue coat and a magic wand with pixie dust as a key mark.
Yep, I must have fell out of my chair, she chuckled. Oh, well,
Trixie cleared her throat.
Trixie needs to know how to get to Pony Show from here, if you don't mind. Not at all, the old mare said.
Smiling, he nodded, waiting to Pony spoke.
It's Lester here, a few hours from the road for a fit mare like you. Just walk that way and you'll be fine. Well, thank you.
The great and powerful Trixie replied with a confident smile.
Trixie should get going. You know, beat the traffic and all that jazz.
The old mare gave Trixie a confused look. Their eyes wandered around. There was no pony in the area.
If you say so. Thanks again.
Trixie called as she jumped up on top of a familiar-looking stage wagon. Her horn glowed as soon as Satan lurched westwards.
Young mares these days.
The mare chuckled. She turned around to take a seat again, but her host traded on a strange silvery line. She sounded surprised and stumbled and fell forward, eyes widening as she was falling towards herself.
Oh,
The old mare took a gasping breath and shook her head as she opened her eyes.
that was strange.
She looked around, feeling she remembered something. After a moment, she shrugged it off. Everybody else would already be inside. She could smell the food her daughter was preparing. She carefully lifted herself up, bones hurting again, but she didn't mind at all.
Mom,
A voice called from inside.
dinner's ready. I'm coming, dear.
She called back, heading towards the door. She felt unusually happy to be alive. Spike walked morosely through the castle grounds.
Why me? Really? This happens to me all the time,
The baby dragon growled.
I mean, it's weird enough to dream that I'm someone else altogether, heading armies into battle. But to dream a whole year of living in Ponyville only to find out I never visited? That's harsh!
He blinked.
Although, I guess that explains why I sometimes felt so episodic.
He waved him absentmindedly at a couple of guards as he passed them, eyes glued to the floor.
Then, to dream of perfection herself, the most beautiful pony to grace Equestria, only to have her be a figment of my imagination. Could there be a crueler fate?
He sighed.
Well, at least I still have Twilight. I'd better go find her.
He looked around and hummed.
I wonder where she is. She usually wakes me up before leaving, and it's almost the end of the day.
He thought for a second.
I guess I'll try the library.
Okay. Guys. Leslie wants to see a fic where Spike wakes up and gets all confused that he travels back in time and he starts having weird adventures with it. I would die to see that. I don't know why this is so hilarious to me.
Why did we let them talk us into this?
One guard asked. Because some pony decided to spill the story of the crypt, another guard muttered famously, glaring at Em and Rain. The treasure shook head sleeplessly at the four of the group, beside Applejack and Rainbow Dash.
So, this crypt here has been around since before Camelot was built?
Applejack whistled.
Why isn't it part of the tours?
Em and Rain nodded, smiling uneasily, and well aware of the poignant looks the other guards gave him.
The crypt is old, part of a system of tunnels that run under a mountain, he explained. It can be dangerous for the general public, so most citizens of Caroline have no idea it's even there, or if they do, it's been closed for as long as anybody can remember. Nobody knows why it's closed in the first place, but being near for prolonged periods of time have made some unicorns experience visits or cases of paranoia. Some of you said they've seen ghosts.
He glanced at the mares around.
I hope you understand that the only reason you're being allowed to take a look is because you're against Princess Celestia and Luna.
Are you sure that this is such a good idea?
Dorothy looked around nervously, ears twitching.
Come on, Rarity.
Rainbow Dash smirked.
No such thing as ghosts, right? Why are you scared? I'm not scared, Rainbow Dash, Rarity said. I simply do not want to get my coat dirty in a dreadful old crypt.
She snorted.
Besides, other than Mother and Father, I don't think there are any ghosts I would like to meet. We could go someplace else, you know. If you want to, that is, maybe.
Fluttershy suggested. Rainbow Dash smiled at her friend.
Don't worry, Fluttershy. I'll make sure nothing happens to you.
Fluttershy lowered her head, looking away as she followed the others.
I don't know if you can,
she whispered.
There are ghosts in there, but you can't fight them over the Ponyville.
Pinkie Pie asked.
Think about it, she said, her eyes growing wide with excitement. We can have a party that would never, ever die.
Sometimes, Blinky Pie, you're real scary. Applejack deadpan.
Just remember, giggle at the ghosties.
Pinky replied merrily. She bounced around the group as they approached a large pair of copper doors embedded into the mountainside.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
One guard muttered to another, only to be elbowed in silence. The closer they got, the more oppressive the air became, until all the ponies were trying quietly with lowered heads. Their hooves clomping onto the hard stone became the only sound around, echoing against the walls of rock around them. As the colors of twilight filled the sky above, Pinkie Pie hummed an old lullaby to herself. In the relative silence, the hummed song carried to the ears of every pony nearby, and its eerie echo worked them to their last collective nerve, and Rarity turned to snap on Pinkie Pie.
What was that?
Rainbow Dash shouted, pointing her hoof to the nearby cliffs.
Eee!
Rainbow Dash's shout was followed by a shrill scream that made every pony cringe. It carried on until Applejack snapped a hoof over Rarity's mouth, shutting her up. Most of you have out of her face, Rarity glared at the Pegasus.
Don't you ever do that again! But I saw some pony,
Dash exclaimed, flying back defensively after the disgruntled visits of her friend.
over there, by the rocks.
A couple of guards tried over to where Rainbow Dash was, pointing and looking around. They shook their heads when they found nothing. Listen, it's getting a bit late, and I'd rather not be here at night, Applejack said. So, let's take a look, see if we hear anything, and then we get back to the castle.
Oh, scared?
Rainbow Dash taunted, conveniently ignoring the guard's raised eyebrows.
Very.
Fluttershy nodded. My, Applejack declared, I just know that Twilight's going to be looking for us. We can't talk to her while we're here.
Whatever,
Dash said.
Well, anyway, let's Pinkie Pie!
Said Pink Pony was already at the large gates, looking inside.
Look, everybody, the gates are open.
At that, Eben rained tased, and with a swift, curt motion, all guards had to stand around the group protectively. They raised their weapons and looked around warily. Seeing their reaction, Applejack looked over at Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie, come over here.
But I can hear a voice, she said excitedly. I'll just galaxy.
She turned words into action, jumped through the gates before anyone could stop her.
Darn Pinkie Pie!
Applejack shouted as the whole group galloped towards the gates. They were ajar, leaving barely enough space for a pony to slide through. Guards immediately pushed the doors open, and, as the dimming light illuminated the large chamber, they immediately spied Pinkie Pie, standing still, looking at something just beyond their sight.
Pinkie Pie?
Rarity asked. The Pink Pony slowly turned around. She was not smiling. In fact, small tears welled in her eyes as she stepped back, allowing every pony to see what she had found. Outside, a shadowy figure observed them, then melted into mist. Princess Celestia sat on her throne, her mind lost in the thoughts of what had transpired. Her connection with the sun told her the day would soon be over. She would be free to join her faithful student in her diligent search for clues. She wanted his help, and she should have been doing so, instead of sitting placidly and pretending that nothing had happened for the benefit of gathering Snobbish nobles. Duty took precedence, however. Her needs and problems were secondary to the betterment of equestrian society, and certainly secondary to governing their lands. And yet, as she sat there, listening to a noble drone on and on about building regulations being broken by a group of builders who exceeded the exposed limit by less than half a meter, she observed, while building a house for the elderly, and how this was clearly an offense that required the immediate action of the court, because it prevented said noble from spotting his favorite store from the window. She had to question whether or not she was deluding herself into thinking that this was a duty to her country. Were she able, she would have exiled the selfless noble from Canterlot. She ignored it. She was able to, technically. She had the power. If she didn't care, if she acted as they expected her to act, he would be standing on the border to the northern wastelands, wondering why his hooves were suddenly, yet quite firmly, entrenched in ice. Something must have shown, though, because at the moment the noble hesitated in a moment of uncharacteristic lucidity.
Is there anything wrong, Your Highness?
Everything, Celestia forced a smile. Didn't you notice I took all morning to raise the sun? Didn't you notice I was distressed? Taking a deep, calming breath, she nodded.
Everything is fine, my little pony. Please continue.
Noble nodded, quickly dismissing whatever he had noticed as he continued his rant about the mediocre work of the builders and demanded the architect be punished and his license revoked.
My child is out there. You are wasting my time to take down a retirement home because of something so stupidly.
She was interrupted by a scraping sound. It took a moment for Celestia to notice that every pony had gone quiet. The sound itself was the result of her hoof dragging into the marble floor, scraping in frustration. The noble gulped at gesture and nearly passed out when the doors banged open and revealed Luna flanked by several guards. Celestia looked from her hoof to her sister in surprise. "Sister, we must talk at once!" Luna declared, turning to all the gathering nobles. "Alone!" The court had been adjourned immediately, and all the nobles had been escorted out, and the protests of their serious business being interrupted. "Sister, Lance's finest," Luna said urgently. "This servant," she motioned with her head to an extremely uncomfortable-looking pony. "Went into his quarters to find him. I found the whole place ransacked. Whatever Lance has been working on has been taken, but it was clear there had been a fight. He also found blood in the room." She gave Celestia a sturdy, grim look. Before Celestia could even speak, the door to the courtroom slammed open, and once more, as the Pegasus crashed through and rolled onto the floor, sliding to a hole in front of her, several guards rushed towards the Pegasus, surrounding her and pointing their lances at her neck. "Rainbow Dash!" Celestia exclaimed, motioning for the guards to stand down. "What is the meaning of this?"
"Princess!" Dash looked up in a panic. "Princess! We found Kid Lance! Where's Twilight?"
Princess Celestia felt her blood run cold as she exchanged concerned looks with Luna. As if to answer their sudden realization, the castle shook with an explosion. "Go!" Luna exclaimed. "I'll bring up the moon and join you shortly. There's no need to worry the rest of our subjects even more." Celestia saw her sister a grateful look, and flew out of the room. Rainbow Dash immediately went after her, parting words echoing the hall. "Send us under to the crypt!" Although she would never consider herself beautiful, or unaspiring as her eponym, Twilight Sparkle did allow herself a little vanity and ego-stroking when she thought about what her name meant in the grand scope of things. The point where the day ended and night began, where they would both blend together and create the purple that inspired her mother to name her so many years ago. The little maternal reminder, however, made her wince, thinking again of her mentor. Twilight shook her head.
"I can't allow myself to be distracted. There's so much to do."
She had discovered so much already. She glanced at the neat stack of papers. She had suspicions to already what had happened. But still, not who, or why, or even how. Even if she could reconstruct the whole situation, without those key elements, her information would prove interesting, but not useful.
Writing a thesis on the main habits of defibrillary SWAT leeches would be easier. And they're asexual!
She sighed. It didn't help the atmosphere in the room to scar her down.
"Well, I think I've done just as much as I could here,"
she muttered, stretching a little. She heard a thump out in the hall and frowned. She requested to be left alone with the evidence. She carefully made her way into the room and let down the hallway. There was no pony here. Shaking her head in annoyance, she turned and was about to walk back inside when a creaking sound made her look towards the entrance. She saw in relief when she saw it was one of the guards, peeking in, probably to check what the sound had been. Her relief turned into a horrified gasp when the guard slid forward and fell, unmoving onto the floor. Twilight couldn't even move when the body was kicked out of the way by a bony in a large, dark cloak, who jumped the other guard on top first. From where she was, she couldn't tell if the guards were alive or not. But what she couldn't tell was that the cloaked figure had definitely noticed her. How convenient. The pony said in a disturbingly familiar voice, walking almost casually towards Twilight after closing the door behind him. And yet, it saves some time. Here I thought we might have to look for you somewhere else. It's an interesting peek by the room she had just walked out of. And what do we have here? Is this what has our dear princess all bothered? Is this why the sun had not come up when it should have earlier today?
"That's none of your business!"
Twilight snapped, shaking her fear away. Her horn glowed and a magical barrier appeared at the entrance of the room, simmering slightly. The magical shield darkened until no pony could look inside and know what was there. Not a smart move, Twilight. Napoleon said gravely. I recognize that spell. And we both know that the only way to get that shield down is to remove it willingly, or by killing you. I go, that's not true. There are other ways. True, Napoleon said, stopping a few feet from her. But I don't have the time to break it through it, when the easiest and most effective way is to kill you. And since I was going to do that anyway. Chill ran down her spine. Twilight took his couple steps again, lowering her ears as the cloaked pony followed her down the hall. Who are you? She asked. You sound familiar. No pony I know would willingly hurt others like you did. The pony seemed to falter for a moment. Twilight thought for a second she might have had a chance to avoid a fight. Her hopes were dashed when he resumed walking. I'm sorry, Twilight. Twilight felt tears forming in her eyes, and her heart skipped a beat. Why? Who was this unicorn who sounded so familiar and seemed to know her so well? Had some part of her recognized her? Was it because it was why she was crying? Or was it because she was scared? No. No, she realized, eyes wiring. It's because I know this pony. That's why it hurts. She glanced down, concentrating on his voice. This has to be done. The unicorn sounded as if he were trying to convince himself, as much as declaring an indisputable fact. There was a different way. His voice turned soothing again, but in a manner that seemed so fake it disgusted her. Blinking away tears, she gritted her teeth and was stopped where she was. Napoleon wisely stopped in front of her. As her horn flared with magic, her opponent did likewise, illuminating his face. But he then realized who he was. The sense of betrayal could reach no further. There were no words to describe what she felt. No words to justify what was happening and who was doing it. The only thing she could say before she unleashed her magic to protect not only herself, but her mentor's secret as well, it came out as barely a whisper. Daddy. Why?